Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Well, now we've all woken up in a post-Tillerson world. And I have to admit, I was horrified when an EXXON oil exec was made Secretary of State. I thought that was an all-time scandalous low. But I have to say he went up in my esteem when he didn't back down for saying the president was a moron. Got to take your hat off to him for that. So, I think keep an eye out for the book. I think he'll have plenty to say after this. So now we've moved on to Mike Pompeo, ex-Tea Party, absolute right-wing fascist. What can you say? Even I run out of adjectives, you know. So what apparently has happened is Mike Pompeo has moved to Secretary of State, freeing up his position in the CIA for the very lovely Gina Haslap. Now apparently she's a torture enthusiast. Nice, these are very nice people. So one presumes she pulls the legs off puppies when she goes home at night to unwind. I don't know what she'll do. So we'll get on to her in coming days. In the meantime, this reading is going to be on Mike Pompeo. So let's see what he has in store. Okay. So, Mike Pompeo. Mike Pompeo. Oh, the mind boggles, doesn't it, really? Oh, Mike Pompeo. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's get going. Oh, I suspect that isn't reversed. I think my pack was upside down. I'll turn him around. Okay. Let me just adjust this. Now, in the center, we have the Page of Swords, and pages usually represent youthful energy. So it may or may not be Pompeo, or he might have that fresh, youthful energy to take up a sword and to use it wildly and widely. So at this point I'm not quite sure, but there's a clue coming up in the essence of this reading. El Diablo, sí, the devil. Now this man from here, maybe it's that he's pretending to be a fresh face and a new face in this role. However, this is a very strong card to have in this position, essence of the reading. In league with Trump. So he hates the Iranian nuclear deal, hates North Korea, might set that back another 100 years. Hates most things. He's one of those macho guys who's actually, I think, a sycophant. I was going to use a more colloquial term. In league with Trump. So they're in league together. He will say and do whatever Trump wants him to say or do. So he's one of those guys, not unlike Trump himself in some ways, all bluster and bravado and really scary as a boss, and you wouldn't want to come up against him, and he's so strong-willed, except he's a mealy-mouthed sellout. He's actually a scabrous, destructive creature. Tell us what you really think, Lena. Oh, okay. All right. Now, across those, reserving money, reserving paperwork. I think this will be a secretive reign as Secretary of State. That's my intuitive feel on this. It's a bit like the Guantanamo things, you lose all their records. So don't be surprised, further scandals in the making, and he hasn't even got to the desk yet. This is so in keeping with Trump's agenda. Oh, another page. Use when it's a page of cups, sometimes delusion, a message of delusion, illusion. But I'm looking at these two pages here. You know, the feeling I'm getting is these are men, Trump's 71 and Pompeo, I guess, is late 50s, but they're thinking and behaving like boys. They've actually got the world view of young teens. They're actually, this is a card that can indicate drinking too. He may be a drinker, but I think they're both drunk with power. They've got this enormous power, and they're men who are incapable of self-reflection, incapable of empathy. Right. We know Trump is a sociopath. And I suspect Pompeo's up there. All right, in the recent past, slings and arrows, things happen very quickly. Recent past being it could be the last week or it could be the last fortnight or however long he's been canoodling over this. All right. What's overarching this reading? Oh, it's a love fest with Trump. Pompeo already had huge power, but it's not enough. This is interesting. I've looked at him in a few interviews and he comes across in this really alpha male mode, but these cards so far are saying he wants to be Trump's sort of consort in a weird way. He really isn't his own man. I mean, when he was Tea Party, he was Tea Party, but this is really very, very strange. Coming up, he's going to talk the talk. If that means representing the base, which we need to remind ourselves often is approximately 25% of the potential voting population, he's going to say all those things they want to hear, like lock up the commies, kill drug dealers, do everything. He's going to go around the world looking at dictators going, boss, I have some really good ideas. Let's kill everyone who gets in our way and give you a life term as president. I mean, whoa, this is some yucky poo stuff. Okay, moving right along from that. How does he see himself? Well, that'd be Mr. Nice Guy, Mr. Warrior, Mr. Voice of the People, Knight in shining armour. He is out there with Trump saving America. You and I were worried, and we needn't have been. He's here to save the nation. So that's how he sees himself. Acting across that, now, the sun. Normally, that would indicate good things ahead and so forth. However, one would have to be more hesitant and go for the other interpretation, which is shining light on this. And this is the reason I also say that it's right above the card of holding on to secret documents. So I don't think his reign is going to be very long. I'd like to think straight up, because as the dragnet swoops around these Republicans, it wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't get caught up in it in some other way. I'll need to do a separate reading just on that. So, atmosphere and energy, the Hermit, again, we're getting this secrecy underneath this. This is a row of sun shining on the secrets. Secrets will be hidden, a little light being put out there. This is not going to be an upfront Secretary of State. We will not know, and I'm speaking here as a global citizen, we will not know what Mike Pompeo is doing in any country at any time of the day or night. It's going to be profound secrecy. It's next door to deception as well. This is turning out very clearly, unfortunately. Yes, well, that could go either way. He could have a decision to make, being pulled in two directions, or this could be blind justice coming to expose the secrets. I don't want to overimpose my ideas, so I'll just explore for a moment the first option. That could represent a pull between more moderate Republicans and more hardline Republicans. But given that he's a hardliner of long standing, it doesn't quite ring true to me that he'd wrestle with that issue. What could interest him is if the Republicans start to do really badly in these interim elections, his craving for power might come into play and he might moderate his behaviour slightly. But I wouldn't hold out hope that he would automatically do that. He has no self-reflection, as I said before. He's right about everything and he's Trump's total embryo. Oh, goody. Oh, thank Christ for that. Justice. Okay, so now this throws my second interpretation into the limelight for this, which is this could be blind justice calling in the form of conventional justice. Oh, my breathing's calming down. My blood pressure is coming down out of the high 200s. And judgment, just in case you weren't clear. Oh, God. That'd be judgment, followed by judgment, followed by judgment. So, just breaking that down for a moment, this is judgment of him more personally. This is justice in terms of the Mueller investigation and the court system. It could be that he's already, as CIA director, contravened, well, in fact, I know he has. He's contravened certain world conventions, but often out of respect for the United States, they wouldn't be taken to an international tribunal. You know what? This is what happens. This is what happens when these guys break all the rules. Suddenly they're subjected to another lot of rules. So this is the United States and this is the world. I'm starting to see quite a different picture here of his professional life. He has already contravened certain international things. This is the judgment of the American people rising up in the form of, I see it as the voting public. So I think he's personally and professionally heading for the toilet. He's walking towards the urinal as he takes this job, and it's yet another case. How often have we seen this? But I've been putting in the blog and different places a reminder that we really have to be patient with this stuff, because Mueller, everything Mueller does has to be airtight. So he has to follow all this forensic information and make it legally airtight. If he has one hit and miss, all hell will break loose. It has to be watertight. So please, beloved viewers, be patient. But it is coming. It was actually whoosh in the end. This is what's happening, I think, for Trump generally. By putting inadequate people, he's got Betsy DeVos in charge of education, and really she'd be flat out teaching kindergarten on a good day. You've got Peter Navarro in his ear telling him how to run the economy, and he really would be beyond his fiscal scope by giving him a piggy bank. And he's putting Pruitt in charge of the environment when the man's climate change skeptic. This was part of Trump's fuck you, I'll just go the other way. I don't care what anyone says. I'm going to put the opposite in of absolutely everything. And he's pushing it and he's kicking the can down the road. But there's going to be a big recycling bin at the end of that road eventually. He's going down a cul-de-sac. So although superficially each of these people is more horrible than the one before, is more culturally threatening than the one before, political disasters on a scale that's unprecedented, but it's a job lot. It's like they're all in, but hopefully they'll all go. So please don't lose heart. I think you've got to have faith in those very pillars of democracy that are being graffitied and sawed and mutilated. They are still standing, and you must have faith in them and support them however and wherever you can. Okay guys, back soon. Bye.